Look at me learning how to do all these new tricky things. So, as some of you may have seen in the news, Edmonton Public Schools is trying something new for autistic students. And I know there's a lot of strong feelings around this, and I've had a few people ask me, so I thought, why not share it on social media?
Edmonton Public Schools is moving to the planning phase of a new school specifically for students with autism. Some parents are speaking out against the idea, saying it segregates students with disabilities. But an autistic researcher at the U of A says it's not necessarily a bad thing, adding the integrated school model isn't always the best choice for students on the spectrum, as the environments are overstimulating and the students often experience bullying.
It's not quite as simple as just saying, is a segregated school right or wrong? Our full inclusion model is requiring these students to be sent home or not attend already. We're not meeting their needs.
However, she says in order for students to be successful in a dedicated school, it needs to be properly funded with the right supports, and autistic students shouldn't feel pressured to enroll. The school board is still in the planning phase and says a separate school would help the board address the growing number of students with disabilities, as well as give parents and students a choice.
And so my answer might surprise some of you because partly from my own personal journey, I actually would have been very open to something like this. But for me, school was very difficult and I was not able to learn the way that they taught. And so I either had to teach myself or wait till I could get home to teach myself. And it was excruciatingly long every single day. And at that time, I didn't understand differences. I didn't understand learning disabilities. So I just assumed that I was not intelligent and that I was in some way broken. And so I still see this in kids today. We've come a long, long way that we can educate children about their disabilities and disorders and their brains, and we can teach them, how it is just difference and it's not a matter of intelligence. And in fact, a lot of them might be the smartest one in the room. But their brain just doesn't learn the way that our school systems are set up to learn. So I don't know about a whole school. Maybe for like severe autistic kids and stuff, that might be something that would be very welcoming for them. But I do believe that every school, now this is like a vision for me. Like if I ever won the lottery, it's so funny. People say like, would you quit work? And I'm like, no, but I would totally create and fund a neurodivergent classroom. And that would be a classroom where the kids could still go to so it's kind of like Mrs. C has a dream. And if she had all the money in the world, she would have one designated classroom in every school that had at least one, if not two, designated neurodivergent teachers who would have kids coming in and out all day long, and we would learn how they learn, and we would figure out their tricks, and we would figure out their superpowers, and we would have a place where they can come, where it's quiet, or where they can be their neurodivergent selves, or where they can stim, or when they're lost in the classroom, where they can simply look at their teacher and say, can I go to the Neurospicy room? That's what I have in my vision when I hear about this. So am I against this school? Absolutely not. I love that it's not mandatory, because that would be a problem for me. But the fact that it's something you can choose and that families can look at the situation for what is best for them and their child and their circumstances, and to have the option, I love it. I love it. Because whether we want to admit it or not, there are students in our schools today that are not able to learn in the traditional setting, yet we just still expect them to. That school is very long and overwhelming for them, and they often leave feeling very bad about themselves. And this goes on for 12 years. Basically, we say, well, there's not much we can do about it. It's too hard to, accommodate for every single neurodivergence type and all that kind of stuff. And there's truth in all of that too. But the fact that our schools do not have even one designated neurodivergent teacher bothers me. It just bothers me. It just shows how far behind we are. So I applaud Edmonton Public Schools for at least addressing the fact that we've got differences and these kids' needs are not being met, and they are not on the same level as all of our neurotypical kids' needs. And I'm not saying that it's unintentional. It's a difficult thing to address. But I do think we can do better. And I'm really hoping with this whole strike thing and this whole, dispute that we're in right now, that this is some of the stuff that gets addressed. So those are my thoughts today. I kind of like the thought there's options. There's options for kids out there to find the place where they learn the best.